Hello and welcome to episode 952 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. I am your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, from Canada, Mr. Greg Seward.
Hello.
How's it going there, sir?
Pretty good. A little tired. Been a long week. Everything's good.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yep.
And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Hello.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going fine. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
I'm feeling good. Why?
Glad to hear it.
Yeah,
Glad to hear it.
indeed.
Uh,
Greg went away
Greg's gone. Perfect opportunity.
for us to talk either Yakuza or Star Trek. Which one?
Well, actually, what we're going to talk is my new beverage. I teased this last week. This has been sitting in my refrigerator for 7 days.
Oh, is it still good? It might not be.
It's soda.
Yeah,
What do you think? Soda expire? You think they put
it
soda
does expire.
on shelves for a week?
No, well, no. I
You
guess
think
it
grocery
depends where
stores and convenience stores are swapping out their entire soda to supply once a week?
No, but
No,
you can
of
definitely
course.
tell when a soda has turned,
Yes.
so to speak.
And
Yeah.
you know what? I can't even find an expiration date on here. So infinitely good.
It's usually towards the top on the Coke bottles.
I know,
It's towards the
here
top,
it is.
printed
Here
in
it
that
is.
little like
There's just
dot
so much-
matrix
There's
thing.
so much condensation.
I'll wipe that off.
I'm trying to. I can't.
You have clammy hands, sir.
I'm in a poor lighting situation. I can't. It's fine. It's soda.
I'm
It's
sure
fine.
that it says April something.
This is, of course, a 20 fluid ounce bottle of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar Orange Cream.
Orange cream, which we
Orange
linked
cream.
to in last week's show notes, just in case anybody
There you go.
wanted to know about it.
They did an orange soda not that long ago, right?
I
and it
thought it was
wasn't very
this
good.
one. I thought it was this one.
No,
Oh, no. You're right. They did another one. It wasn't good.
There was an orange one a little while ago that was not very good. I don't think this had the cream factor.
No.
So this has a heap and help and a cream. Let's get a
And
whiff.
that just makes everything better.
Oh, it smells like a dreamsicle.
Oh, God.
It does smell like a dreamsicle.
What is a dreamsicle?
You don't know what a dreamsicle is?
I know what a
Is correct?
creamsicle is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard
I
of
believe
a dream.
isn't dreamsicle a trademarked brand name of a creamsicle? I don't know.
think so.
But yes, it's that, Greg. It is exactly what you believe it is.
It's the generic type of creamsicle.
Yeah. Okay, let's try this. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm.
Yeah. Any
Yeah.
earthy notes?
Mm. Yeah.
Hmm.
I feel like I should be like spraying this on a coffee table before I dust.
All right.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, not good.
Yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah. I'm not.
I don't drink soda anymore, so I won't be able to partake.
I'm not
Sorry.
feeling it.
Apparently,
I
creamsicles
wouldn't.
had an ice cream center, while dreamsicles had an ice milk center.
Oh,
Oh,
So
were
they're
you,
different.
were you
Same thing.
researching this?
I was.
Okay. Is one,
And
mean, are
dreamsicles
they-
are no longer being produced.
which ones?
Dreamsicles.
Okay. With the ice milk.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm guessing they must have been an American thing because I have never in my life heard of a dreamsicle.
Okay. Okay.
Creamsicles,
See.
however, are fantastic.
Oh, they certainly are.
certainly.
Well,
And that soda is okay.
Pledge
I had it,
flavored.
I had it last night.
Pledge. That's the name of the substance I was trying to remember, but couldn't. Pledge. Although
Pledge
Pledge is
flavored
lemony.
You're
But-
right. Yeah, it is citrusy. Generally citrusy.
Exactly. There might be some
Yeah.
sort of orange version of Pledge.
Probably made by the Coca-Cola company. That's
the
a big
runoff.
conglomerate.
That'd be
so.
pretty funny.
All the
You never know.
grates in the floor at the bottling plant just lead into giant sub-basement vats labeled citrus zest Pledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Mm.
We passed
Yeah.
the taste test.
Yeah.
You won't be having any more of that?
I'm not feeling it.
No.
Not feeling it.
I see. All
Anyway.
right. Should we talk about some video game news?
Ugh.
There appears to be some, so
Why
we got?
not? Well, let's talk about something going away here. Nintendo is
Nintendo
ending.
going away?
No, Nintendo's not going away.
That
Let's
doesn't
go
sound
away.
right.
Well, rewind the news back to about 2014 and
Back to the dewy slopes of 2014.
Nintendo's going to go away. No, Nintendo is ending their voucher program for the Switch. So
That sucks.
ends at the end of March. If you don't
Gold
already
coins
know,
and such.
well, and they're getting rid of gold coins too.
Yeah.
So hold on to your butts for that.
Okay.
But game vouchers, it was great because you could spend $100 and get 2 games for that $100. Get 2
Right.
vouchers. So effectively, you could get 2 $60 games, save yourself $20,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
then also get gold points
Oh
to
yes.
save even more.
So this is just for Switch, though. So basically, we're getting ready for whatever new thing they're introducing for Switch 2.
That's my guess. I guess.
And I can't
suppose.
imagine they do something similar to vouchers for the first year of Switch 2, because that would be kind of weird.
I hope they do, because
Me
what
too,
if
but I don't
Switch
imagine
2
they will.
games are like $70?
Well, you're kind of pointing out the reason why I don't think they'll do it.
So are you saying that too many people took advantage of their great program?
I mean,
They
the other
see
thing is,
some kind of
the
hole
other thing
in
is too,
revenue?
because they only introduced that in the last couple of years, right?
No, it's been around
The
for
voucher program.
The voucher program has been around for I believe they even did it in Europe for the Wii U. They did it for a limited time on Wii U as well.
Okay, no, but my point being that they
But you're right, they
introduced
did
it
wait
late
a year
in the
or
life
2.
cycle because
Yeah.
the Switch is old. So I
Yeah.
mean, being able to
2017.
make those, even save that $10 per game was kind of nice. And it
absolutely was.
you've paid
Originally-
for 2 games up front.
In 2019.
Okay, so there you go.
2019.
In North America, really? I don't remember it in 2019. But anyway,
That's,
don't remember
that's
much in
according to
2019.
Game Rant.
Yeah.
But anyway, I can't see them introducing it the first year of the Switch 2, and
Hmm.
I'll bet you the price goes up, because I do think the game prices will go up.
Well, yeah, probably.
So they don't want to eat into that, I'm sure.
But the other news there is that gold points are going away as well. Gold points would earn you points that you could then redeem for money off of digital games. A lot of people used those to pick up dirt cheap on sale games for free. And maybe also a lot of eShop shovelware benefited from that program. So maybe that's okay. That's going away. But I certainly liked having gold points that I could spend.
Yeah, it was always nice
On,
to get a little discount when you
Yeah,
For buying
get a
a
little
game?
discount. Especially, I'm all digital with Switch, and having some kind of discount below MSRP was pretty nice. So hopefully they'll have something for Switch 2. So I guess we'll find out before the launch of Switch 2. I don't know. But anyway,
Maybe.
game vouchers, you will be able to use them on games, I guess, original Switch games for another year or so, right? I believe that's true. Anyway, so that's one bad thing. Second,
We want something
Second-
positive.
so I'm sorry, I don't have anything. No, apparently Microsoft CEO says Xbox will have a catalog of games using generative AI. Is the headline off of VGC. And they announced a new product called Muse, which is a generative AI model that can generate game visuals, controller actions, or both. Apparently, Satya Nadella says that they can generate games using that. And all I have to say about that is look at the Switch eShop. You can see what happens when generative AI
I don't understand.
is making your games.
I don't understand that. So I read this,
Uh-huh.
and I'm really not sure I understand what this means. So
me,
it can
here's
generate controller actions. I don't understand why.
Yeah, I would
don't
take
know.
that to mean you could play a multiplayer game with AI.
Oh, okay.
Opponents.
All right.
So let's say, and there's another quote about game preservation using this technology, but let's say you were like, I really want to play the original version of Overwatch, the launch version, but obviously those servers have been turned off and are never coming back. Like, I wonder if they could use generative AI to like give you that experience of this multiplayer game that is now dead.
I'm going to go ahead and
Using
say, even if they could, they won't.
Even if they could, they won't. You are exactly correct.
In that situation.
But
now, if you had, because I think they actually quoted somebody from the studio that did It Takes Two, right? So if you had like co-op multiplayer games, I could see that being a thing where you could play a game like that where you don't have to have a second player, which I could see them using because it's not a massively multiplayer game. They're not making any money off people playing it. So, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Now, I understand now because I read that article and I was just like, I don't get it. Why do I want it to generate controller actions? But now I get it now. Okay.
Well, to me, okay, the discussion about AIs used in video games, I think right now we're at this point where it's like talking about Project Natal, where they show you just a bunch of things, or like when second screen gaming was a big thing, right? Where they just kind of like pull examples out of thin air, like this is the future. To me, almost none of those things will happen and become useful, but I do feel that AI in games will be like generative AI will be important, especially in like tutorializing things, like helping you do some action in a game that you're not sure. Like you could explain like what you want, and the computer, perhaps doing controller actions, can assist you with whatever it is. Like in Yakuza, if I'm like, how do I trigger these conversations with the other players? Like, I'm not sure what does that. It could go ahead and show me what does that. Like what icon on the map where I have to go.
Them and pressing X? Is that the part of the game that's confusing you?
Well, I didn't realize those were on the map until Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Anyway, I would have realized it eventually.
I see.
But yeah, so okay. I'm meaning like things like tutorials, or like showing you how to do something, or like telling you where you left off in a game or something. Like I could see uses for generative AI in games. I don't think it is having a catalog of games that were built using generative AI, or using AI to revive classic Xbox franchises, or like old Xbox games, and giving them some kind of revitalization. I don't see that really.
So are you referring to the whole idea of game preservation that they're talking about when you say that?
Yes.
Using it, because the way that story read was that they feel like they could port older games to new system architecture without needing like the original engine, and having to worry about all the compatibility issues, which, if that's true, that's very cool. It's interesting. I don't know, calling it game preservation feels a little disingenuous, because I guess it depends on what you feel the phrase game preservation encapsulates. Because if it's an AI's sort of a rendering of what it understands the game was on new hardware, that's a lot different than the original code.
Yeah.
The original, you know what I mean? Like that's an element. I guess it is game preservation from the standpoint of you can still play it, but I'm curious to see to what level of granularity AI, at least in its current form, would be able to reproduce, say, Blink's the Time Sweeper. It's very pie in the sky.
I kind of look at this.
And the other part about game preservation, which is a big deal because we've seen a lot of this, especially with old Japanese games. Source code is important, and it gets lost. So, but that is part of game preservation, is the actual code, I think. Yeah. So anyway,
I mean, there are a lot of other elements to just bringing a game forward to other hardware. It's like the feel of the game, controls, like, are you going to update how the camera works? Are you going to update anything else? Like, to me, AI tools like this are best used when you have a human behind them just checking that everything is actually good.
But I mean, I guess the idea there is that you're still saving a lot of money by not paying someone to port that code and just test it instead. But
potentially,
anyway. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
I'm certainly wearing my skepticals in regards to any of this.
I mean, almost anything generative AI has so many caveats, right? Like Apple with the summaries of news stories. There was a big thing about them getting entire news stories completely wrong in the summary. I don't know if you've seen this in like your email. If you have any Apple Intelligence features on, you get the little summary.
I believe I turned all of that stuff off.
I mean, most of the time, it's
you
not
go to Google
correct.
And you see that no matter what you search for now.
Yeah.
Too.
And a lot of that, I mean, we just did a quiz not long ago where the Google AI thing was wrong about something.
A true shocker indeed.
Shocker. But yeah, you do kind of need a human behind the wheel on some of that stuff. All right. Speaking of behind the wheels, or maybe it's on wheels, Tony Hawk 3 and 4 Remaster is looking likely. There is a website now that is counting down to March 4th. So presumably that is when a remaster or a new title will be announced. Yeah.
Man, remember when Tony Hawk was like the biggest thing ever?
And that game was the biggest thing ever? Yeah.
No, he meant Tony Hawk the person.
Oh, Tony Hawk the person.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever remember. I remember the game being...
He was 40 feet tall.
I think he is tall, right?
He's a very tall person, I believe, yeah.
I've never met him, but
you know what I did? I bumped into him at some E3 party ages ago, and yes,
did you bump into him because he couldn't see you because he's so tall?
Well, I didn't really bump into him. I just was engulfed in a shadow and was very confused as to what had blotted out the sun.
It wasn't like me actually bumping into Gary Coleman at E3.
No,
and being like, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah, no, it was not like that.
That's Gary Coleman.
that was actually like pretty much 100% my reaction to the actual story was I was at some, like a Sony party or one of those, and I was just walking around and stopped next to a person and was looking up at a stage or something, and then glanced over, and the person next to me glanced down, and I just said, "Oh my God, you're Tony Hawk." And
I bet he gets that a lot,
and he agreed.
Oh, well, good.
He was. Yeah,
actually, from the sounds of his socials,
that's kind of his whole life, right?
Yeah, more weird that you recognized him.
Yeah, but I told him it was nice to meet him, and that was that.
His social media, for anyone who doesn't know, is filled with stories of people mistaking him for Tony Hawk.
Yeah,
or saying he looks like Tony Hawk.
And I yelled, "Do a kick flip!" And he did, and then he did a rail grind off into the night.
That's great.
Oh, that's how that goes.
Oh God, I almost instinctively took another sip of that soda.
You got to stop yourself.
I gotta
throw
get
it
some
away.
water or something here. Goodness gracious.
Just pour it out right here. Just right on the floor.
Just all over my keyboard.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put you over here.
Well, you don't want to miss these next couple stories here.
Oh,
Phil.
You bet I don't.
Because there's a Samurai Pizza Cats game in development.
Yeah, there is.
A franchise for which I have zero nostalgia.
Really?
Me too. I have no nostalgia
I love
for
that
Samurai
show
Pizza Cats.
so much.
Never. You know what? And this is not me disparaging it. I'm sure had I watched it back in the day, I would have loved it because it seems like so stupid and right up my alley.
Mm-hmm. It is stupid.
Yeah. But I never watched it back in the day, so I have zero affection for it. I mean, other than the fact that it does look charming and silly and dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it does.
That said, I'm going to play this game.
I mean, me too. Yeah. And I actually do have a lot of nostalgia for the show. I loved that show.
Yeah.
Because it was silly and stupid and dumb.
Right.
Yeah. The writing was fantastic. Now I'm saying that as someone who hasn't seen it since it was aired, which is what, the 90s, 91 maybe?
It was like an early night because it was certainly writing the Ninja Turtle.
Oh, they even mentioned the Ninja Turtles in the theme song.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I mean, they knew what they were.
Oh, yeah.
And it's great to hear because it sounds like they're using the original cast. I don't know if it's all the original cast. I have no idea if the entire original cast would even be alive at this point. But it sounds like
who from the
using
90s would be alive today.
You never know. It's been 35 years. Lots can happen.
Oh my God.
And the game looks, I mean, the bit of footage that they did show in the trailer looks pretty cool. Looks kind of like
Goemon.
Cool.
It looks so much like Goemon. That's exactly what I was going to say. Like the overhead. Yeah. There was one shot in that because there's a lot of overhead and it's like, oh, this looks a bit like just an RPG, like an action RPG. But then one overhead where they're walking through a little town. It's straight out of Goemon.
Oh yeah,
Nintendo. Like
absolutely.
Which is fine. And it looks like it's supposed to be an RPG, but it looks like it's along the lines of something like Gargoyle's Quest almost, where the battles are actually little side-scrolling action scenes. And it looks great.
Like Goemon.
Yeah. It looks just like the show.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's going to sound just like the show, and I am definitely all in.
It's not like a retroized pixel graphics. They're sort of making it look animated, like
it looks like the
show.
Yeah.
Well, they showed all the animation because like the first chunk of that trailer is all just like 2D animation.
Yeah.
And I saw some like behind the scenes stuff, and it's like actually like traditionally like pen and paper animation. Like they didn't even like do it in Flash or anything.
I'm a fan.
Great.
Or whatever people use.
I'm not a Flash animation fan, so
whatever people use to do animation these days on computers, it's probably something not Flash.
It's not Flash.
No, I'm sure it's not.
No,
but it's a descendant of Flash.
Right. Dreamweaver
the style is the same. So
right.
Yeah. No, I'm super excited. Did not expect a Samurai Pizza Cats game in 2025, but here we are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
Couldn't have expected it. Well, here's another thing maybe you weren't expecting. Saber Interactive has announced, well, I guess Hasbro kind of announced it. Saber Interactive is developing a AAA game based on a tentpole Hasbro IP. So a Hasbro CEO. What?
Transformers.
That's where my mind went originally, but
it's probably D&D.
The interesting piece of information here is that the Hasbro CEO, Chris Cox, said that the team making it is the one that did Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. Which is a really good
received. Yeah.
A really good game. It is a like military it's a shooter. It's a third-person shooter. Really a great game, by the way. So my mind immediately then went to G.I. Joe, maybe?
D&D, man.
D&D, somebody already has the D&D
Dungeons and Dragons.
Game
Hasbro
license.
owns Dungeons and Dragons, though.
In fact, a D&D game is going offline very soon. Getting
what a coincidence.
Gotta get some AI in there so you can keep playing it.
Well, yeah. So maybe G.I. Joe, maybe Transformers. What do you
I
think?
mean, I don't know.
You really don't think it could be D&D?
I don't think it's D&D.
A property that Hasbro owns.
Well, I mean, Hasbro.
I don't think it's
D&D
D&D because other companies have the D&D license to make games.
Okay.
I think Embracer has that.
Okay.
So I don't think it's D&D.
I don't think G.I. Joe's big enough.
Maybe it is D&D. Who knows?
I don't know.
I'm hoping
Clearly none of us.
I'm hoping it's G.I. Joe or Transformers.
I don't think it'll be Transformers when they so freshly cancel the Transformers game.
Yeah, but maybe they see the dollar signs of that Warhammer 40,000 game and they want some of that magic.
Fair.
I don't know. Well, anyway, and then the last piece of news here is that Koei Tecmo has announced Dynasty Warriors Origins shipments and digital sales have topped $1 million.
Oh, sorry.
The demo downloads topped 2 million. So that's pretty great for a series that
doesn't deserve it.
Hasn't done like crazy numbers worldwide, or at least outside of Japan, right?
I don't know. Seems to be doing pretty well.
It does seem to be doing well.
Even without Greg's support.
Yeah.
Are you continuing to play this, Phil? Have you played more?
Well, I was, but then something else came out. So now it's on hold.
I know. Too many games. All right. Speaking of that, it's time to talk about what we've been playing.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm going to go first. So buckle up. Played some Sea of Thieves because season 15 started this past week. 15 seasons.
I can't believe
Sea
that
of
game's
Thieves.
15 years old.
It's not even. I believe this year, it came out in 2018. So this year will be 7 years.
Just before Nintendo vouchers.
Right. Exactly. And the theme of this season is wild things. So they are adding, they've added a new faction. No, they've added a new faction. The Hunter's Call. They've expanded the existing fishing faction. So you can go fishing and go on fishing missions to specific islands and catch fish that act kind of like treasure chests. You just set them down on the ship. It's quite fun. There, you can't cook them or eat them. They're just treasure. And they also introduced 2 new types of megalodon sharks to the game. So one has a whole lot of armor on it that you have to strategically like hit the shark on.
Where does
the
armor.
Shark
buy armor?
It just sort of forms on its skin. It's like coral.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. So you have to knock that. And then if it bites your ship, it also like stuns you. It has like a shocking effect that will stun you. And it'll also spawn enemies on your ship. So that's one megalodon. The other is a fire type megalodon. Slash Digimon. And this one, as you might guess, if it bites your ship, it sets it on fire, and it can also explode and set everything on fire. So these are more difficult megalodon than are normally in the game. So I fought both of these with a full crew on a galleon, so 4 of us total, and we're all very experienced players, and we still had quite a problem at first fighting these sharks. They're very powerful and take a lot of cannon hits to defeat, but it was a lot of fun, and we didn't sink, so that's all that matters. But later on in the season, they're going to introduce more wildlife to the open world. So you'll have jellyfish, there's seagulls that'll follow your ship. They're also introducing wild boars that will have treasure chests in their wallows on islands. So I don't know. That sounds kind of fun.
Wallows?
Yeah.
Is that where a wild boar lives?
A wild boar, like rubs in the mud
Yeah, I know that.
Walla?
So that's okay.
But it's got treasure chests.
I just never heard it used in a sentence.
Okay. So anyway, very excited about that. My good friend Mike is back from New Zealand. Hopped on a boat, played with him and Patty and Mina. Shout outs to them.
He came back from New Zealand on a boat? That must have took months.
No.
Considering he lives on the east coast of North America.
It's a long way around.
That's a long journey.
Thank God the U.S. owns the Panama Canal again.
Uh-huh. So yeah, Sea of Thieves, awesome new season. I also played Avowed. So neither of you have played Avowed, huh? Microsoft Obsidian Entertainment's new RPG.
No.
Okay. Did either
Sorry,
of you
I'm
like
yawning at this story?
Did either of you like Skyrim or any of Obsidian's?
I never played Skyrim.
I think I played a little bit of Skyrim and realized it's not my type of game.
I also did that. I also played a little bit of Skyrim, realized it's not for me, and moved on. But Avowed, I think, is a really good RPG. And the thing that made it good, the thing that makes it good in my mind is the combat is really good. It's really fun, very visceral, and you have a little bit of magic that you can cast at enemies, and you also have a weapon. And you have a party of adventurers as well that can do attacks on their own.
I love this generic description of any RPG ever. Sorry, it's
No, but I think the combat system, it feels good. Here's the thing. In these RPGs, generally, I just don't gel with the combat. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel visceral enough. You don't feel the hits, right? In this, I think you do. And that I found pretty nice. But then another game came out and I stopped playing Avowed. So that other game I am speaking of, I will let Phil talk about.
Oh, how generous.
In his what you've been playing. But I did play more Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth.
Good.
Yeah. Because that game
this new one spoils all of the ending of that game.
It does. And, I got to that point in Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii and was like, oh, I guess this is what happens.
Immediately at the beginning of the game.
I guess this is what happens.
Yep.
So you're saying I just need to play Pirate Yakuza and I've beaten Like a Dragon? Is that what you're telling me?
You've beaten Infinite Wealth, or you've spoilers for Infinite Wealth.
Done.
Yeah. You might like Pirate Yakuza.
I think I like all of them.
I like it. I like it. Anyway, I will shut up now. Greg, please tell us about what you've been playing.
I didn't want you to shut up. I didn't want to make you feel like you needed to shut up.
Okay. I like the Avowed. I thought it was fun. I'm really looking forward to Outer Worlds 2.
Okay.
Fine. Take your turn.
Very much it was Outer Worlds. So this past week, Don't Nod's new game came out, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, Tape 1, which was free on PlayStation Plus or PSN. In whatever it is, PlayStation Plus.
If you have extra or premium,
I don't know. It was
access to game catalog, and you can play Lost Records. That's what you got.
So Lost Records. So this is an episodic adventure sort of point and click style game from Don't Nod that I like. Kind of. So the whole premise of this is that you're playing a character named Swan, who's going back to her hometown to meet with 3 other women in 2022, and they haven't seen each other in 27 years. And they haven't seen each other in 27 years because they made a pact back in the summer of 1995, like that Bryan Adams song, where they agreed never to see each other again and to speak of whatever happened in that summer. And so it's told, it actually really reminds me a lot, and I don't think either of you watched this. Do either of you watch Yellow Jackets?
I watched the first season.
No.
Okay, so in Yellow Jackets, the whole idea is that you're following a group of women, adult women who were in a plane crash. It's basically Alive, but with women who were in a plane crash back in the 90s. They were a soccer team in a plane crash in the 90s, and they survived out in the wilderness for, I think, 18 months. But all you really know when that show starts is that some really terrible, weird shit went down. And the way that the story is told is that, you see a lot of the present day stuff, and then they constantly switch to flashbacks. So they're telling basically two parallel stories of the same characters, one set in the 90s, one set in current day. That's exactly how Lost Records works.
Okay.
You're walking around in 2022, going to have this little reunion with these three other women, I'm sorry. But you're constantly switching into flashbacks of when they were, I think they were 15 or 16 in 1995. And it's sort of telling the story in parallel about when this summer, when they all met, sort of the actions that led up to it. And it's all fully playable, the flashbacks and the modern day. The modern day is very much, it's all played in the first person. It really feels like a walking simulator more than anything else, and that you're kind of walking around. You see things that you can examine. Sometimes you just pick them up and look at them. Sometimes it'll trigger like memories where it's just all done with audio of Swan and her friends when they were teenagers. And then sometimes it will just flip over to a playable flashback section. And those playable flashbacks are played in third person, walking around in the third person, you play as Swan. It's a cool idea. And I think the thing that I like about it is that they've recreated the 90s as a teenager, I think, really well. And I think, the three of us are probably the right age that this would really sort of hit that nostalgia bone, because we were all teenagers in the 90s. Now, we were all teenagers in the early 90s, but, still, it fits. And
is this game about sitting in your bedroom playing Super Nintendo and watching Tiny Toons?
Pretty much.
Okay, because
if it is,
so here's the downside.
Interested.
Here's the downside. That would be more interesting.
Oh no!
Here's the thing, right? And I'm going to go back. I keep comparing it to Yellow Jackets because the way that the story is being told, I can't believe that it's not inspired by that show.
Has to be, right?
Refuse to believe that, and I haven't done any research to see whether that's right or wrong. I refuse to believe that's not the case. And so the thing about that is, and it's made me really sort of go back and examine that show, because I love that show. And actually, we're in the midst of the third season. Like the third episode of season 3 just came out, and I just love that show. And
it's a great show.
I went back and watched like the first episode of Yellow Jackets, and in the first episode of Yellow Jackets, in the opening scene, there's some really, again, disturbing shit that goes down in like the first 2 minutes of that show. And then suddenly you're in the modern day. This game, the story in this game, they're really, really, really pushing you to feel the same way, except that they're taking so long to, all you get is this constant ominous, like, unspoken something happened in the summer of 1995, but there's no hint as to what it is. And obviously that's supposed to be the big reveal. Now, whether that's the big reveal at the end of this first episode, or as they call them, tapes, or it's like something that they're going to wait even longer to tell you about, all I know is it's not a good enough hook to pull you through what is just feels like an endless bit of just dialogue and exposition over nothing. And I think, the idea is that you're supposed to find, because it really does take their friendship from Swan not knowing any of these girls to kind of how they all came together, how they got to know each other. So the whole point is that you're sort of meeting each of the girls and learning their secrets and their goals and all that. And of course, they're all teenagers, like 15 or 16 years old. So, they've got their whole lives ahead of them, and they've got big plans and big dreams, and all that is there. But it's at this glacial pace that's not doing the game any favors. And I keep, like, I was playing more of it last night. I haven't finished the first tape, and I really, really want to like it.
Can't be too long though, right?
I've played for a few hours now, and I don't feel like I'm anywhere near hitting an ending point. And so I jumped on and was looking at some user reviews today, and I think it's like 5 hours to get through this first episode. And I feel like that means I'm probably about halfway to 2/3 of the way through it. And again, like, I do dig it. I like walking around in this sort of 90s setting. They do a really great job of, because they're in like they live in the middle of nowhere. I think it's Michigan. It's like northern Michigan where this takes place. So they live in the middle of nowhere. It's a very small town. And like, there's a whole scene, a lengthy scene early in the game where after the four girls have met, and they all dealt with a bully. And the bully grabbed one of their sets of keys and threw it off into like a playground. So they're searching for it. But like, there's a whole lengthy scene where the four of them are just sort of hanging out, and it's dark, and they're clearly out later than their parents would probably like them to be. But they're just sort of hanging out, and they're chatting about stupid teenager stuff. And like, as I'm playing it, I'm like thinking they captured this really well. Because I think we all, when we were teenagers, definitely had those moments where you're just like, out late at night, just hanging out and sort of experiencing a level of freedom that's kind of new to you. And it feels a little bit rebellious. And like, they do capture it really well. The writing is really good. It's just that it's taking so long for anything to happen that you just want to skip past it. Cause you're like, I need a hook. I need something to propel me forward here. And the game just doesn't have it. And that's why I keep, again, going back to like Yellow Jackets, where the first 30 seconds of the first episode of that show, we're in season 3 and they haven't explained it yet, but they keep teasing it, and they keep inching you forward to it, so you can kind of see, and you start to actually make assumptions as to what led to what you saw and who was involved in what you saw. You're not necessarily ever right, but they still, you know what I mean? Like, it's just constantly right there in front of you, and you're just almost getting it. And I feel like that's what they want to do with this, but they've gotten so wrapped up in exposition and character introduction that I'm not sure I want to keep going. It's not compelling.
Did you played Life is Strange, right?
I played the first episode of Life is Strange, and I'm trying to remember if this is the reason why I didn't play more. Maybe this was the same
I'm
thing.
wondering. Yeah. Because I played through Life is Strange only really because my daughter really liked it. Right. So we played through it together, and I had kind of the same feeling about Life is Strange. Like, I was feeling this is kind of slow and much more focused on narrative than gameplay. And that's not the type of game that I'm typically like as interested in.
Yeah. And see,
my daughter was really into it, so I continued it because she was into it.
See, I am interested in stuff like that, but there's just that there's nothing, there's no hook that's pulling me along, and there's no tension that's driving me along. Right. Like there's neither. Like, I'm thinking back to things like even The Walking Dead.
Don't say Walking Dead.
No, but I will. The game, right?
Right.
The game, like Walking Dead, the tension of what was happening in the world around you is what kept driving you forward, because you couldn't stay still, because that's just, the story was relentless and it kept moving you forward. This doesn't have that. And so what it needs is something that's off in the distance that's dragging you toward it, and it doesn't really have that either. There's a hint of it, but they haven't given even a breadcrumb yet to say, you want to come find out what this is. So I don't know. I'm mostly disappointed in it. I think that I'm, like I said, halfway to 2/3 of the way through. It's free. I'm going to keep playing it. I want to get to the end of the first episode, and the second episode's not until April. And honestly, unless this makes a huge impression in the final hour or however much longer I have to play, I doubt I'll even remember anything about it when April comes around. So
really,
yeah, I'm a little disappointed. It looks great. They're doing a great job with world building. Again, it's very nostalgic. There have been a few interesting things here, like Swan's whole thing is that she's got a camcorder. So it's kind of a little bit of busy work, and I really don't understand why they want me to do it yet. But you're walking around. She's making a documentary of her life because she's supposed to be moving out of Michigan at the end of, I think she's moving to Canada at the end of the summer, right? And so she's walking around, and you see, when you're looking through your camcorder, you'll see things that have little brackets around them, and you want to record those. And like if you hit record, a little status bar or status circle will pop up, and like once you've recorded enough, you've recorded X of Y number of clips for this particular subject. And then what you've done is you've created a memoir, but then you can go in and you can edit it, and you can swap footage, and it teaches you all that right away. I have no idea why I would do that. So, but that's kind of like the hook in the flashbacks. So I don't know why I'm doing that either, but I feel compelled to do it.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to play this week.
Because
I know
I'm curious
Charlotte's
going to
want to play it.
It does look great. And there was one moment in the flashback scenes where and again, there was no hint that this was going to happen. There was like one symbol, some graffiti on a wall. And when I looked at it through the camcorder lens, the feed went crazy. Doesn't explain why. And Swan doesn't react to it, or at least she didn't for me. So clearly that's a hint of something. And then something happened in the present day that linked it. But again, it's not compelling enough to be exciting yet.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, that's what I spent my time playing this week.
All right. Then it's Phil's turn. Phil?
Yes, sir.
Aloha.
Well, aloha to you. Clearly.
Are we friends yet?
You are making a reference to the big game I've been playing this week.
Here we go.
Godzilla Voxel Wars.
Knew it.
Right.
On Nintendo Switch. A hot new game starring the King of the Monsters.
Not what I was thinking.
Has now arrived on Nintendo Switch. Look at this. Look at that. There's a little figure of Godzilla. He's so excited. He's doing a little happy jig. He's jumping for joy. Isn't that sweet?
It is.
That's a new, well, it's not really new. It's been out on Steam for quite some time. Godzilla Voxel Wars. It's a little kind of strategy puzzle game. It's not very good, I'll be honest. But
but you felt like bringing it up.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention that I am not that I did not pick up and have played a bit of a new Godzilla video game.
I see.
People expect this.
Yeah. What are you going to do if they add Godzilla to Call of Duty? Because they added Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Call of Duty, and I was like, I wonder if Phil is going to.
Pizza Cats.
No.
But it's like $60 to unlock all the TMNT stuff in Call of Duty.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that nonsense. I'm sorry.
Wait, TMNT and Call of Duty? That's weird.
It's true though.
I mean, this is a Fortnite started it, and now everything, Overwatch and Call of Duty, all of them are doing media tie-ins.
I played Fortnite for Godzilla, but I can't imagine I would play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
For Godzilla, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Godzilla. As I say that, I'm looking up at a framed picture of Godzilla that's right above my.
Wow.
That's why you should go like this.
It's an original drawing by Dan Hipp.
I don't know who that is.
That means nothing to me.
Not ringing a bell.
He's done like a lot of work for comics. He was the head character designer on Teen Titans Go for a while. He's done a whole bunch.
All right.
He's done a whole bunch of cards for Marvel Snap. If you've and they're like very if you've seen any kind of cartoony looking Marvel Snap cards that look like they would belong in Teen Titans Go, that's Dan Hip. I bought an original illustration of Godzilla and Kong. Right, it's right there. It's framed.
Can't see it.
It's
Plus,
right,
this is an audio podcast.
It's right above my monitor
as well. Yeah.
Anyway, Godzilla Voxel Wars it's like a little strategy puzzle game.
Sure.
And it's the type of strategy game. It's kind of like Advance Wars.
Oh,
you move around on a grid. You move in this case, your Godzilla next to a monster or a tank or something, and you do attacks on it and stuff. It's that type of gameplay. Okay. But single player where you have a predefined layout and you have to destroy all the obstacles. It's fine. It's a perfectly fine game, but whatever. The real game that I'm playing this week, of course, is the latest entry in the Yakuza / Like a Dragon series. Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Yes.
Which I picked up on the PlayStation 5. And
I did too.
And I
pre-ordered so that I could get my Ichiban Kasuga threads.
Yep. You got your Ichiban outfit.
Yep.
Did you get the big deluxe edition where you get all the extra crew members and all that stuff?
I did not.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
I did not get the deluxe edition. Should I?
I mean, if you want, it comes with a handful of new crewmates.
New crewmates that aren't available.
I believe
for
so.
Recruitment in the game.
I believe so.
Okay, well I'll have to look into this.
Yakuza superstars or whatever they call them.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
My Japanese version of the game is I ordered the physical version from Japan. I believe it's supposed to be here Tuesday.
Nice.
That's the one that comes with the little the pirate game, the little pop-up pirate game.
Yep.
But with Majima popping up out of the barrel instead of just a generic pirate.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I had to get that as well. But yeah, this game takes place after the events of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, as we discussed earlier. It certainly picks up the action, assuming that you have played through that game.
Sure does.
It goes right into here's what happened during the ending events of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiled it for CJ, certainly, because he plays games out of order.
I'm fine with it.
Impatient.
I'm fine with it. I wanted to get on the pirate ship. Come on. Can you blame me? I mean,
yeah, because you don't have enough games where you get to run around being a pirate. You have to.
I don't.
You need all of them at once.
Yep.
Greedy.
Yep.
But
how far have you played? How far have you played?
I have played. I'm probably about 14 or 15 hours into it at this point.
What the hell? Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been looking forward to this game.
And wow, all right.
I've been CJ legitimately shook that I play video games.
Yes.
Apparently. How many hours? How many hours are you into Sea of Thieves, CJ?
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe watch your mouth.
Okay. Yeah.
Now I will say, how much time have you put into this?
So I've put in, I don't know. I'm in chapter 2 or 3. So I don't know where that puts me, but I am in Honolulu,
right,
and recruiting. Basically I'm trying now to find funds and crew for the ship.
So you are in chapter 2, and I say that because you are at the same point that I am at.
Oh, okay.
I have just been...
You've been doing more things.
I've been running around Honolulu, exploring more, filling out the map. triggering a couple side quests. I've been doing a lot of that. I've recruited a bunch of people to my crew, but I'm at the point where I need to go to the Diamond Head Bar.
This is we're at the same point.
Yeah,
we're at the exact same point.
Exactly. I'm guessing I've just done a lot more of the little side stuff than you have at this point.
Probably. But now I'm wondering if I should take some time and just do side stuff. Basically, that is what I'm doing now. And basically, it feels like I'm playing Infinite Wealth over again because I'm doing a lot of the same things that I have done in Infinite Wealth, but in Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. And now I'm Majima instead of Ichiban Kasuga. So
yes,
and I'm having tons of fun doing it. Like great. Infinite Wealth, even if I just did a thing in that, and I'm doing it again in Pirate Yakuza, I'm like, yes, all right. Like I went to the Aloha Happy.
Aloha Happy.
Aloha Happy. There you go.
Aloha Happy.
Fun little twist.
That was amusing.
Unexpected. And here's the thing about this whole series. Here's the thing about this whole series that I absolutely love. The setting in a lot of the games can be the same. Like they carry over a lot of the same characters.
Yeah.
This between Infinite Wealth and Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, I mean, it's the same location.
Yes.
Largely.
Right.
A lot of the same characters.
Yep.
But the little like twist on it because you're Majima now, you're not Ichiban Kasuga, and you're just a badass who also happens to have a pirate ship and is recruiting crew in Honolulu. It's
and a little 10-year-old sidekick.
And a 10-year-old sidekick and his tiger that collects little things for you.
That's just a cat.
I love that joke so damn much. Where the kid is like, it's not a tiger, it's a cat.
Yeah.
Kid, this thing is it's a freaking tiger. It just makes me laugh so hard. And so far, there have been encounters in the game with either enemies or people that I'm just like, this is absolute craziness, like batshit insane.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's so good.
I got a new favorite. Good. I got a new favorite bad guy voice clip. When you encounter groups of bad guys, they shout off, just random phrases to rile you up.
And in Infinite Wealth, it's "I'm going to sue you."
My favorite this time is "I'm going to beat off your whole ass." It's so
Greg,
good.
you're still muted. You're muted.
No, am I?
Who, me?
It's showing.
Greg's muted now.
Greg's muted.
It's showing that I've got.
Yeah, we can't hear you no more, Greg.
Now we can't hear you.
This is similar to the problem I had before we started recording.
That is very similar. So you may want to leave and come back.
Walked away and came back, and you guys couldn't hear me.
Yeah, and Greg did the same thing.
Is this a problem on your end, CJ?
No, it's not.
Greg's
might be a problem on.
We can't hear you, Greg.
I know.
No, just leave and come back.
Hear me.
Compelling radio.
Leave and come back. All right, let's continue talking about Honolulu. We can't hear you.
Continuing to talk like we can hear him.
You're unmuted as far as Streamlabs go. So just leave and come back.
Hello?
Yeah, now just keep talking, Greg. That'll help.
Keep talking. Yes.
But there he goes. Goodbye. Oh, no, he's back.
Oh, he didn't actually go anywhere.
Can we cut this part out? Is this live? This isn't going out live, is it?
I heard him talk.
Hello?
Oh, there
he is. That was weird. I guess turning the camera off unmuted me.
All right.
Okay. Anyway.
I'm not editing any of that out.
Anyway.
Okay. Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. The in-joke with the cat is so funny.
It's hilarious. I
also, by the way,
what's that?
Well, spoilers.
Okay, I guess we're talking some spoilers here, folks.
We're talking some spoilers
for the first maybe 2 chapters of the game.
First 2 chapters. I just want to say, the opening credits sequence.
Don't spoil. Just say the opening credits.
I'm just going to say the opening credits sequence of this game surprised me.
Yep.
First of all,
delighted you.
Delighted the hell out of me. Just a
It's
grin
incredible.
on my face through the entire thing.
Once you realize what they're doing.
Once you realize what they're doing.
What a treat. It's so good. It's so good.
Yes.
Oh.
Now,
yes.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Phil. What were you going to say?
Oh, no, I was, because like you, I'm currently, because the game starts with Majima washing up on the shore of a beach of an island that's near Hawaii. He has amnesia.
Yeah.
You meet a handful of characters on this little kind of it's not a deserted island. There's a little village there, but it's an isolated little village. And then you eventually get your boat. Circumstances happen. You get your boat and you travel off to a location that is important at the end of Infinite Wealth. And then you voyage over to Honolulu.
Madlantis first.
Oh yeah, that's right. You go to Madlantis, which is kind of a pirate paradise island.
Can I talk about the pirate ship gameplay for a second here?
And then, yes, CJ,
let's talk about the pirate ship gameplay,
because traversing between the islands, it goes to a pirate ship. You're sailing the high seas.
Sailing the high seas.
What do you got? Talk to us about pirate shipping.
First of all,
you do a lot of that.
Pirate shipping across the universe.
I have done a lot of pirate shipping. I love the control here. It's very arcadey. Very arcadey. You have two cannons,
very much.
Port side and starboard side, and then you have machine guns in the front for absolutely no reason.
For no reason. For ships in front of you.
For the ships in front of you, yeah. I guess
you can
that makes
drift
sense.
in your pirate ship.
You can drift. Yes, you can hit the turbo and then hit the nitro and then do a drift turn, which, by the way, I love doing because that gets your port and starboard cannons facing the right way so quickly. Yeah, and it's so satisfying to hit that turbo and then drift and immediately shoot. It's just like yes. But during the pirate ship gameplay, you have this. You're basically like going through rings, like a pilot wings type thing that like speed you up because otherwise the gameplay might be boring. But I don't know. I think it'd probably be fine too. And then you like pick up little components and things that I assume I'm going to have to use at some point for something. But upgrades
materials and things like that.
Yeah. So far, the pirate ship gameplay has not been terribly difficult. But it has been very rewarding. I have enjoyed doing it a lot.
Although really,
we should say, are you playing in Japanese or English?
I'm playing in Japanese.
I'm playing this in English because, as you might know, we know somebody in the cast.
That's true.
We know Masaru, right?
Is that who I'm not sure who he's voicing.
He is playing. Masaru.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
he's a main character in this game.
Yeah.
So Brent Mukai is the actor and good friend of Ice Cream Social.
Yes.
And Maddie Lee's Ice Cream Social. We've seen him perform stand-up, and he's also a voice actor, not only in this, but also in Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah. Dynasty Warriors Origins.
Dynasty Warriors, yeah.
Yep.
So, and a main character here.
And season 2 of Squid Game.
Oh, there you go. All right. Nice.
So is he in season 2?
Did you watch season 2 of Squid Game?
I watched the first episode.
You know the guy who's there with his mom?
No.
Oh, no, wait. No, because you just watched the first episode. You haven't even gotten to the game yet.
No.
No, he's one of the main contestants.
Oh, good for him.
In the game. Yeah. And he's really good in it, too.
And he's really good in this. So I switched to the English because I was like, I kind of want to hear.
Can you swap languages?
Brits? You can.
Yeah. At will? Okay. I should swap over just so I can hear his performance.
You have to reload a save, but yes.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
Also, when you get to Honolulu, I was surprised, like, this is just infinite wealth now.
It absolutely is.
You're just doing the same things. And when I happened upon the street surfer person, I was like, all right, this is really infinite wealth. The same controls and everything. I was like, oh, this is great. It's like comfort food.
You do the same thing where you walk around town and trigger conversations with your party members. At this point, it's just little Noah, your little preteen sidekick. Yeah. And if you have enough conversations with him, you have to go back to the Revolve bar and have a little drink link story bit where you. I mean, no, it's he's a child. He drinks milk, but you sit at the bar and drink and have a little heart to heart with each other. But I was bopping around, triggered a couple little side stories, some really, really funny side stories, which I'm not going to go into right now just because I don't want to spoil them for you.
Yeah.
I did also, I found the Dragon Kart, the kart racing mini game.
Okay.
Which, it was in Man Who Erased His Name, right?
Yes.
I
did the batting mini game.
Oh, on Madlantis?
On Madlantis, yeah. Yes. I did the exploding,
which is great.
Batting cage. Yeah, that was fun.
Yep. But
I was like, which of these mini games am I going to have to do for 5 hours before I unlock something good?
Exactly.
But they're all good, really.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's good stuff. I noticed in our chat, Bill Mudron, good friend, has asked if we unlock any Sega consoles outside of the Master System and SG-1000. As far as I know, you do not. I have at this point unlocked all of the Master System and SG-1000 games.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
you just have to explore Honolulu.
They're just, spoiler alert, I guess. They're just at the various pawn shops.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't even have to find them just lying around. You just go to the different different pawn shops and collect the games. I did.
By the way, again, I love how in this game, I don't know if you saw this, the shogi player that's over by Shinobi Sushi has a huge treasure chest behind him. I was like, well, I'm not playing the game. I'm not going to play some shogi.
Right. Well, you know what? I'll tell you this, because that's one of the things now with all these different, little side quests. Like, what's the little bunny mascot who hangs out by the shrine?
Yes. Kamalop.
Yes. He has a big treasure chest behind him as well.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of these kind of side quest characters have a big treasure chest that you can unlock that's going to have some valuable item inside. But the dude with the shogi board behind the shrine over by the Shinobi Sushi, one of there is a mode you can play with him called Puzzle Shogi, which is just a
columns.
No, it's not even that. It's basically just like they present a board and you have to make the proper move.
Oh, okay.
Which
that's nice.
You can find guides for it. There, you look up a FAQ and it'll tell you which things to click on, and it's very easy to get that particular treasure chest. Because I ain't taking the time to learn to
no
shogi. I'm sorry. I don't understand shogi. I don't understand mahjong.
No.
What I do understand, going back to that Master System, is I understand how important it was for me to buy a pair of red and blue 3D glasses that I constantly have sitting here at my desk.
Oh.
Just in case I ever need them for anything. And I have indeed busted those out because some of the games you unlock are the 3D Master System games. It's got a 3D Maze Hunter.
But 3D Master System games were Active Shutter 3D.
You bet they were.
But not in this, obviously.
But they have been redone.
That's cool.
Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing.
It's got Maze Hunter, it's got Space Harrier, and it's got, I forget the name of it.
Maze Hunter was great.
What's that?
Is it the missile shooting game?
It's you're like in a boat, you're looking out at the ocean.
Okay, no.
And you're launching missiles at boats that are sailing by or jets that are swooping in. And I forget the name of it.
I don't know.
But it is also a 3D game.
Cool.
And the 3D is surprisingly effective. Like it actually looks pretty good.
Poseidon Wars.
There you go. Poseidon Wars. Thank you, Greg. Our Sega expert.
Yeah, who went and looked it up
on hand. But I was delighted by that. I got to the mall in the game, the Anaconda Mall, which is, of course,
fashioned after buns there.
What's that?
Do they sell buns there?
No, it's snake themed. Unfortunately, it's not.
Sir Mix-a-Lot. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, yes. They don't want none of that.
They don't want none of those buns.
It's snake themed.
Oh,
yeah, it is.
But fashioned after the Ala Moana Mall in actual Honolulu.
Okay.
But I got there and they have the little arcade at the mall. And they have again, it's a Yakuza game, so they have a variety of Sega arcade machines. One of which is a game that I don't believe has had a home port before.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, this is a game I have never heard of until playing this game. It's a old Sega arcade machine from 1998 called The Ocean Hunter.
Never
have you
heard
played
of
this game? Have you heard of this game?
No.
It is I'm going to take off these red and blue glasses because
that's pretty hard on the eyes.
If you're not looking at something 3D, really starts to muck with your eyeballs there. Goodness gracious. It's a light gun game. It's a on-rail shooter where you are diving underwater, shooting at sharks and
that's cool.
Barracudas and fighting krakens and things like that.
Cool.
So it's a Sega arcade game I'd never played before, and I haven't finished it yet. I just played through like the first stage and a half before I died and decided to quit. But I'm gonna go back and play the whole thing later. It is a fun game. But yeah, I'm having a blast. We've talked about this before. I appreciate the Yakuza Like a Dragon games before 7, before Yakuza Like a Dragon. I had never finished one of those games just because they were always so kind of overwhelmingly daunting in the amount of stuff that they have. But I was so taken in by Ichiban and his friends that really motivated me to stick with that game and then obviously go into Infinite Wealth. And I played Man Who Erased His Name in the middle, but then it was a relatively shorter game, which this one apparently is as well.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I'm having a great time with this, even without Kasuga Ichiban.
Well, now I'm in Kasuga's clothes, so
it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's
You're
not
right.
the same.
It's not.
Yeah. I mean, Goro Majima is a fantastic character in his own right, but
correct.
He's no Ichiban.
No,
he's no Ichiban. But I am digging it. So is this going to end up with me going back and I've been wanting to kind of go back and play through like 0 because everyone's like, oh, 0 is the best one, and
yeah,
I don't know if this is going to start me
But aren't these? I mean, didn't
Definitely.
these games have gotten like exceptionally ridiculous, right? Like
That is true.
Isn't that the whole point? The absurdity is part of the point. And
Yes.
not that there weren't absurd moments in the previous Yakuza games, but I feel
Right.
like a Dragon is kind of where that really kicked into
Oh, yeah.
overdrive.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it's very true. I mean, there are certainly bits of silliness in the entire series. But yeah,
Yes.
the Ichiban stuff is when it really kind of kicks into high gear with just goofiness. And this game continues it. You know, I did a whole
Continues it, and I think ratchets it up. I'm just thinking about the intro.
I mean,
Okay.
there is the intro. I did a
Just
whole
like going
I did
up
a
there.
whole sub quest that involved me getting on a tour bus following along a Japanese idol singer.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go into any more than that, but yeah, there's just a whole little subplot with that, which got me some crew members, so it's worth doing.
See, well, okay. Let's talk about Grand Theft Auto for a second.
Okay.
I'm thinking of this game and Infinite Wealth as I am having a blast in this open world game.
Right.
There's new shit around every corner in this
Right.
in this game in Infinite Wealth. GTA comes out. I am hoping that it has I'm hoping that it could scratch that same itch where there's weird shit
I have
around
a
every
sinking
corner.
feeling that GTA is going to be all about pushing people to play online.
I hope
That would
not,
make
guys.
so much
Well,
money.
anyway, Sega's going to make
hope I'm
more
wrong.
like a Dragon games, and I'll get my fix
Exactly.
that way anyway. But they're
And
so good. Like,
CJ,
if
you're not going to see nothing like that opening sequence in a GTA game. You're not gonna.
If only Saints Row was still around and and crazy, right? Like I feel like this series, if you're not playing it, if you've never tried it, try the demo of Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii at the very least. Maybe get a sense of its flavor. I believe Like a Dragon Yakuza 7 is on several services to try, and it's cheap now anyway.
Are you missing the RPG mechanics?
I am missing the RPG mechanics. Here's what I did. I turned on the assist mode, which is what I did with Man Who Erased His Name also, because I want to see cool
easy
attacks.
Combat mode?
Yep. I want to see the cool attacks. I don't give a shit if I win.
Nah.
Like I'm not
not
gonna memorize the button
but...
combos. First of all, I'm not gonna memorize the button combos. I just want to have fun.
Okay.
And so the way to have fun is I turned on the assist mode.
I'm playing it the real way. The way the grown-ups play, but I'm not gonna poo-poo your
I'm playing it on normal. I'm not playing it on easy.
Well, I will say, because I'm playing it on normal as well. I am playing with the standard controls.
Yeah.
I will say, at least so far, though, it's like super easy, even on normal.
Yeah.
So I don't believe it's because I'm that good.
I'm waiting for
I really don't think it's because I'm that good, but it does seem like the fighting mechanics are maybe ratcheted down a bit, just in terms of difficulty.
Yeah. And I don't need to be good at them. Just I'll tap the button. I'll Dynasty Warriors the shit out of this.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Are you having fun?
I am having a blast.
Okay, that's all we ask.
On Infinite Wealth, I'm not doing the auto battle or anything like that. I'm just, doing everything and the real way.
And we haven't even gotten to a part in the game where you can start, because the point we are at in the game, and this is minor plot
aside from
here.
boring people who are listening to this podcast and aren't playing Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Who cares? They should be playing it.
They should be playing it.
We are at a point where we need to end. We're trying to get our boat gussied up to enter a pirate battle coliseum.
Yeah.
And we haven't even gotten to the point where we can decorate our ship and stuff like that.
No.
I
can't wait for that. Yes.
As I've been exploring the town, I've gone into shops that are selling like material for the sales, and like CJ rubbing his hands like a creep. Goodness gracious.
I'm very excited about it.
Oh my gosh. But you can, there are places selling material for sales, places selling I guess like stuff to put on the side of your ship to make it look fancy. Different mastheads for the front of it.
Yeah.
Mastheads, right? That's what those are called, right?
Figureheads.
Figureheads, thank you.
Mastheads are in magazines.
Yeah.
I suppose that's true. Yeah, what did I get? I got a
crow's nest. You got flags.
Yeah. I got a lucky cat figurehead.
Ooh, okay.
I found that in what is it? The secret there's like a little secret, is it one of the little secret gambling dens
secret
around
casino?
Town.
What, the one that is the dumpling place?
It's the one. It's kind of like you kind of go into the middle of like an apartment complex, and you kind of sneak through like a little, almost like a little alley in an apartment complex. I think it's kind of in the center of town, maybe to the east of center. And there's a little hidden kind of gambling parlor, and I forget exactly what game they play in there. Is it the one where you can buy like the sticks to gamble with? And the only reason I got enough to purchase the stuff is because it's some Japanese gambling game that I do not understand, but they let you just buy the sticks that you can trade in.
Mm-hmm.
So I traded in enough to get this lucky cat thing. If you go to the sex shop on the west side of town.
I don't think I've been to this sex shop.
Maybe you haven't.
West side.
Well,
town.
In when you were playing Infinite Wealth, have you explored kind of the west side of the city?
I have.
Okay, it's kind of the sleazier part of town.
I haven't found the sex shop, though.
Okay, there's a sex shop. You can buy like the lingerie and things like that, but you can buy a figurehead that is a giant massaging wand for your boat.
Okay,
so maybe you want to deck out your boat. So
sure,
dick out your boat.
It's
you say dick out your boat?
I said deck. I said deck out. The heart wants what it wants, and the ears hear what they want to hear. But
that's true.
But no, this is the boat.
I bet
of
you guys didn't think I was listening.
How much
in the chat?
How much is that wand, Phil? Because
what's that?
How much is that wand? Because I got to go.
It wasn't expensive.
Oh my god.
Okay, that's good.
I think the figure
the real cost of the batteries.
The real cost of what?
The batteries.
You get the ones that plug in.
Well,
Greg.
now they plug in and charge.
I wouldn't know.
Come on, wink. Greg.
I've never replaced one in years.
My goodness. Anyway,
okay.
It's a great game. I'm having a blast with it.
I wasn't interested until the last 5 minutes of the conversation.
Now you got it. Now you got to get it.
It's a great game.
Hey.
Yeah.
You have anything else you want to say about
No.
Pirate Yakuza?
No.
Well, then I'm going to say this. I'm going to switch topics. Remember, I don't think it was last week before. I mentioned that I had ordered a custom Xbox controller from the Xbox.
Yes, you did.
Design Lab. It arrived. It showed up.
Okay.
Now you guessed.
You gonna unbox?
I haven't. Well, I'm not. It's already unboxed.
Oh, okay.
I have it on a little. Have it on a little display stand right here.
Ooh,
look at this.
Fancy.
Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, fancy.
There's my little X. Oop. I'm covering it.
Rose colored gaming.
Rose colored gaming.
Very nice
stuff. Yes, they do. Now you guessed that it was Mega Man colored.
Yes.
Blue and cyan.
That's what I guessed.
You're wrong. Dead wrong. What it is Skywarp coated.
Skywarp.
Skywarp, the Transformers Decepticon character Skywarp. The front is black. The back is purple. The analog sticks are purple. The shoulder and trigger buttons are nice light gray. And the D-pad, other side, the D-pad is a nice metallic orange.
That's very nice.
That complements Skywarp's cockpit.
I like it.
That is on his chest.
Huh.
So there we go. I am utterly delighted.
Very nice.
Skywarp is, of course, my favorite Transformer. 100% based on his incredible color scheme.
Yeah.
And
there it is. Nice.
I am so pleased to have.
That's a good looking controller.
It looks good. It actually looks really, really nice. I'm very pleased with how it turned out. So
very nice.
I haven't had a chance to use it yet.
Because who plays their Xbox?
Well, you
can use it on the Steam Deck.
This is going to be this is meant for my Steam Deck dock.
There we go.
But I have, I've been so busy with Pirate Yakuza and such that I haven't even had a chance to get my Steam Deck dock hooked up yet. But at some point,
I see.
But I have this beautiful little controller that I'm very pleased with.
I like it.
So there you go.
I like it.
Mystery solved.
Yes.
The mystery of the what color is my
I'd forgotten about it.
Controller.
Forgotten about it.
You know completely. What? How dare you?
I
dare. You notice I'm wearing my
ABC
Stores shirt today?
I do see that. Yes.
To celebrate the pirates in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Yeah.
You, of course, visit ABC Stores in the game.
You do.
In the game. So, anyway.
Is that it?
And, you know what? Also in the game, this was in Infinite Wealth as well, but Matsumoto Shave Ice.
Yes.
The real life Shave Ice company. Japanese in origin, but in Honolulu. Actually, they're not. Oh boy, they're not actually in Honolulu.
You don't need to get into it, Phil.
It's too late. There is no Matsumoto Shave Ice in Honolulu. They're on the North Shore.
Why is it called Shave Ice and not Shaved Ice?
I don't know, but it's called Shave Ice. You're just gonna have to. You're gonna have to deal with it.
Generative AI came up with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy! If you go to MatsumotoShaveIce.com, you can purchase crossover T-shirts. CJ,
hold on!
Oh, suddenly, Mister, you don't have to go into this. Is now tapping going to the website so he can order a shirt that has Goro Majima on it, enjoying some delicious shave ice. There you go. Did you find it? You find it?
Yeah.
There you go. Get your order in, CJ.
Don't worry, I will.
Mine's already shipped, I'll have you know.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, you bet.
Well, okay.
Anyway, that's it. That's what I've been playing.
Alrighty.
It'll be time for our social media chat as soon as CJ's done placing his order.
And I guess that means it's time for tweets.
Oh, tweedly deedly dee. Tweedly deedly dee. Tweet. Tweet.
There you go.
There it is.
All right, let's do this one from hacker alias Joey Riot, who says, "Hey gang, were your parents into video games? Greg has spoken about his dad's love of 1942-3 on the show, but I can't recall if Phil or CJ's parents played games. My dad loved games, lots of NES and 2600 Outlaw. He passed in 93 when I was 15. His last game was Roadrunner on SNES. Bummer way to go out." Okay.
Death Valley Rally.
Death Valley Rally.
Which was not a good game.
My parents did not play video games. It was absolutely hysterical to watch my mom attempt Super Mario Brothers 1-1 back in the day. My brother and I just sat there cackling with laughter as she struggled to make the first jump over a pit in that game, and she never touched another video game after that. And the same, my dad had never played any video games that I can recall. Maybe something in the arcade, like a skeet shooting type thing, maybe once at like Showbiz Pizza.
Right.
But no, my parents did not play video games. They instead cultivated the love of video games between buying the Odyssey 2 and the NES, and they supplied the video games, they didn't play them.
Yeah, they didn't dip into their own supply.
No,
you don't want to do that.
They had no supply of their own.
My folks also did not play video games at all. Mom never had any interest whatsoever. I don't believe she's ever even tried to play a game. My dad also, the only game he ever played that I saw was Kaboom on the Atari 2600.
Kaboom was awesome.
And I'll tell you what, he was incredible at it. It was the one game that he played, and he would play it with me, and he would always kick my ass handily.
You know what? If you're gonna play one video game back in those times, Kaboom is a great one to be into.
It was one of the better
game.
Yeah, absolutely one of the better 2600 games.
Yeah,
to be sure. But yeah, other than that, my sister didn't really play games. I was the lone game playing nerd in the family.
Yeah.
I think probably our generation, though, let's be honest, is probably the last generation where
our parents
asking,
didn't play
did
games.
your parents play video games is really a viable question.
Yeah.
There's a better. You're right. There's a better chance that subsequent generations have parents who played games in some way. I mean, with the NES being as popular as it was.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Even if
there are people now who still think maybe they played video games in their childhood, but they are not playing them as parents in their 30s,
which
40s.
is fine.
Yeah.
But, oh, I love playing video games. Mom, did you ever play games? Oh yeah, when I was a kid I played the old Nintendo. You're going to get that kind of response.
You would probably get that one. Yeah.
Yes. As opposed to, I never played games and I have no interest in ever playing them.
Right.
Which is what we had.
That's true.
More or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias, Eat the Hype, who says, this is Donnie Reese from PSVG, who says, while they are on sale, do you guys have any must-own recommendations from the Capcom Arcade Stadium 1 or 2 collections? I never downloaded those, but Phil, you probably did.
I do. I've bought both of them in their entirety. And I'm looking up a list of the games that are on here. Yeah. First of all, just buy just buy all the games.
Just buy all the games.
Just buy all the games.
Especially, we know Donnie is a youngster who probably didn't play any of those games before. You got to do it for video game history.
Yes. And I'm looking on here, seeing what games we got. I'm not going to read all of them, but the aforementioned 1942 and 1943 are on there. Which one was your dad into, Greg?
He was down to play either of those, but I think 1942 is the one I saw him play more.
Okay. So yeah, you got those, obviously classics. You got the arcade Bionic Commando, which is not nearly as good as the NES. Yeah.
Don't bother.
But you got regular Commando. Good. Forgotten Worlds is one of my favorites from back in the day. You got Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts.
Just get Ghouls and Ghosts.
Great. Ghouls and Ghosts, yeah. The sequel is significantly better. Captain Commandos are good beat 'em up. You got Final Fight.
You got to get Final Fight.
Yep. Mercs, I thought was a fun kind of, Contra-ish. I mean, it's more Commando-ish, I suppose, in terms of, shoot 'em up. But you got the original Street Fighter 2. Strider.
Also must play.
Fantastic arcade game.
Yes.
Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. That's the one.
Yeah, what? That's if you're gonna really. Oh wow, and that's do
you not own it?
All the Street Fighter 2s, like
any other place?
Well, he's just saying what's must play within this collection.
Okay. Well, then yeah. I agree with that. Okay.
Yeah, come on.
All right.
Giga Wing was a pretty cool shooter, like a space shooter type thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do we got in the second collection? You got
Knights of the Round, King of Dragons. Those are good.
Yeah, you got the Darkstalker games.
Oh God, yeah. Vampire Savior.
Yep. Black Tiger. That was pretty fun, right? I seem to remember liking Black Tiger.
A shooter.
Gunsmoke. The second one's got the Street Fighter Alpha games.
Street Fighter Alpha games. Alpha 2 is the best one out of those, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's got Puzzle Fighter, which is outstanding.
Yes.
Yeah. It's got the 2 Mega Man arcade games, which are
not great, but they're kind of fun to check out.
Exactly. Yes. Micah in the chat is
naming out
Cyberbots. Yes.
Recommendations.
Powered. I don't know if I've played Powered Gear. King of Dragons, Magic Sword. Yeah.
Yeah. Those D&D side-scrolling beat 'em ups are quite good.
Again, according to Micah here, Humble has everything in both collections for $20.
There you go.
Boom. Spend $20.
Get that.
Get the whole McGillicuddy.
Honestly, you can't go wrong with almost the entire catalog there. There's a couple are just like, meh, but for the most part, they're all really good.
Absolutely.
I see.
There you go. $20. Jeez, what a deal.
Totally. Let's end it with this one from hacker alias Z-Man 1902, who says, this is directed at me. Have you watched the best Star Trek period episode of The Next Generation? The one I base my blue sky name on, Darmok and Jalad. No, don't think I have. What episode?
The episode is just called Darmok.
Darmok. Okay.
Yes.
No, I don't think we have watched.
You haven't watched Darmok yet.
I don't think so. So that's on. It's season 5. Okay.
That is a Picard centric episode.
All right, I'll watch it.
Do you remember the character? I forget the character's name in Lower Decks, but there's the
one that talks in
Metaphor.
Metaphor, yeah.
Yes, this is the episode that introduces that species.
My daughter may have watched it by herself. But I need to watch it.
It's a real good episode.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
It's absolutely one to watch.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on various social media networks like Blue Sky or Threads. Or you can go to our internet website at playeronepodcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CDs from Mr. Greg Stewart. You'll find Generation 16 episodes there. You'll find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about during this episode, and a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting playeronepodcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com/P1 Podcast, or you can watch us live most weeks on the YouTubes, the twitch.televisions, the Facebooks. Follow one of our many social media accounts to find out when we're doing our next live show. Typically, it is Sunday evenings at 5:30 specific time. So join us. Oh, won't you? And I'll tell you what, if you like what you've heard, and how could you, head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. I don't know. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. It keeps us going. It keeps us streaming. You know, all that.
True.
All that stuff.
True.
It keeps CJ in novelty pirate t-shirts.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
see, I knew it. I knew it.
By the way,
Yeah.
small aside here.
Yeah.
In Infinite Wealth, I've been changing my outfit in that too. Now I have the Ichiban is wearing the pixelized like a dragon shirt with the 4 characters on it and the Sega logo.
Yeah.
And then I have one of the other characters wearing like a TGS special shirt. I love these shirts. I'm gonna need some Like a Dragon merch, but not from the Patreon funds. Let's be clear. Yeah.
Well, if you want to believe that, folks, you're welcome to do it.
Like Naruto.
What?
That's his catchphrase. Believe it.
Oh, right. Anyway, if you are a Patreon supporter of the $5 tier,
Cheap.
you gain access to a special weekly bonus episode. We record it right after this, where we play games, crack-wise, having fun doing all the stuff we can't do on the regular show. CJ,
Yeah.
do we have a game for this week?
Phil, you knew that this day would come where I would say,
Oh, this is one of CJ's trademark fake-outs, where he puts on this whole show about,
Bazinga.
look out, we're not playing a game. And then I get all disappointed and weepy and a little angry. And then he's like, fooled you, just got you. And then I'm all relieved. So go ahead. Do we have a game?
Phil, I am sorry to report that we do not have a game this week.
Mother! Shut! You beat the...
All right. Calm down.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry.
We instead
Oh.
have a listener has emailed us basically with a prompt to hear more about our lives.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, gross.
I know.
We're getting introspective.
So we're going to get a little introspective here on the after show. We're going to talk a
All
little
up
bit
in
about
this bitch.
Oh, hold on.
talk a little bit about.
There we go.
Okay, there you are.
You can just loop that over his potty mouth there.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about times we didn't feel like playing games, and how we work games into our lives as adults. Air quotes.
It's gonna be a depressing episode.
It could be.
I'm actually an adult. You don't have to air quote that.
Okay.
The courts determined.
Courts determined. Oh, really? You're certified?
Yeah, I mean,
Bona fide.
that's what they.
Got your bona fides.
I tried to.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So yeah, we're gonna be talking about that. We're gonna be reading our listeners' mail message or their email to us, and then we will be answering it. We'll be talking about our lives.
oh my goodness.
A little different kind of after show. Maybe it'll be entertaining. Maybe it won't.
Are we gonna play this as one team? Or is this
Get
something we have to?
all the points. Yeah.
Well, tune in for that, folks.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, if you have a couple bucks left over, why don't you go to patreon.com/Greg Seward to help support Greg's outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Thank you, Phil. And if you're a supporter of the $3 variety,
Also very cheap.
thank you, Satan.
You're very welcome.
You get early access to every new video that I put up. You would have seen the Sega Saturn video I put up last week, 2 weeks ago.
There you
by
go.
Grabthar's Hammer.
What a
savings.
savings. So please consider supporting the show.
You really should.
I agree.
Well, of course you would.
Yeah,
Is that it then?
Yeah.
I think that's it.
CJ?
Yes. What is it, Phil?
CJ seems a little pensive.
I know.
What is it?
Well, I was just going to thank you for, hosting the show and
Yeah.
kind of putting this all together every week, and
Yeah.
all the things that you do.
Well, thank you, Phil.
But I didn't really do anything.
Thank you for
I
nothing.
just showed up and was
Talked
effortlessly
into a
charming.
microphone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Effortlessly charming. Yo.
Thank you for so quickly agreeing with me
Thank you, Phil.
about my self-assessment. And of course, thank you to you, our wonderful, wonderful listeners, every single darn one of you. As always, please take care of yourself, your loved ones, your family, your friends. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself, man. And we will see you, we hope, next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Toodle oodles.